clubhouse leader on -7 is going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, I must be honest, when the rain came and I was at 400 at that stage, I dropped 2 shots and I started getting nervous. But I was keeping the score, so the whole time, I knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And I just said to myself, just play old man golf, so just hit the 3-wood, 5-wood, 3-wood, 5-wood the whole time. And luckily, this little thing has been helping me quite a lot as well, so I'm happy. Yeah, it was stressful, to be honest. I had Hansi chasing, Randall chasing, and then Connor came, and it was nerve-wracking for me. And when I saw the score with them finishing the 17th, I knew it was there. It was very, very stressful, thanks. It's the 4th year, it's been tough, but I knew it was there. I think the game is getting closer, new clubs, the putter's working, I'm confident.
Congratulations, Kobus Skuman. 4 years in the making and you are a Duckhook title holder. Has it sunk in?
Yeah, eventually it did, yeah. I think the stress in the beginning was too much, but afterwards, yeah, it sunk in by now. Thanks.
Well done. And let me welcome the rest of you. Wayne, you're joining us again. Still, if you didn't know, the series leader. So Wayne will be talking us through the experience of Heron Banks and giving his insight on how the round went. And then we got Hansi, who was runner-up. Well done, Hansi. What a round. You were chasing Kobus all the way and you almost got there, but just not enough in the end.
Yeah, no, Mas, I thought, let me give it a go and see. So I was keeping the score as well and having a look. And I thought maybe Birdie on the end might make it, but not to be.
And then everybody on the chat line, thank you and welcome. Thank you for joining us. I'm going through your comments right at the moment. There's a lot of hellos and welcomes. Let's start. Who am I got first? Monet O'Kelly. Howdy Ducks. Hello, Monet. I hope you had a good day at Heron Banks. Karuna, who I played with at Heron Banks. Hello, Karuna. He had some moments on Sunday. He really did. Steve, nice to see that you're joining us. And there are many, many more. Some regulars and some new faces. So, what is on the show today? Well, before we get straight into Heron Banks and do the review of what happened, there's a matter of the singles draw, which I know you've all been waiting for because it starts soon, and the team draw. So, how's the show going to work today? Well, before we dive into Heron's Bank, we're going to take you to the singles draw, and then we see how it all unfolds. So, are you ready? Fats joined me in our little studio, and this is how the singles draw came out. Are you ready? Keep commenting. Time has come. Yes, it's the 2021 singles match play draw. We're looking forward to the singles this year. We didn't have it last year, so it's going to be epic. We have 55 players that enter this year, and Fats is going to explain just now how the draw is going to work, how the groups are going to go. But if you didn't know, there are groups this year, and then we go into the second phase, which is straight head-to-head knockout. So Fats, take us through the group, who goes through, and the little technical pieces of it.
Right, yeah, as Maz explained, we've divided it into groups, and having 55 players, we've decided we're going to go with 8 groups. It makes it easier for the next stages. So 7 of the 8 groups will have 7 players, and 1 group only 6 players. So you need to play each player in your group, and as Maz explained, the winner will be the guy who has the most stable fit points on the day. You don't have to be in the same 4-ball on the day at the event. From there, the top 4 players out of each group will go through to the round of 32. There we will have match play, one-on-one, head-to-head, as per normal. So yeah, I think if you make it through the group stages, the real excitement's going to start, where you have a one-on-one match play against your opponent, a round of 32, and then obviously we go through to the round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and eventually the finals.
And what I like about it, if there's 7 in a group, the 4 players go through, so there's plenty chance to at least get to a head-to-head. Right, so you must be excited to see who and what group you're going to come out into. Okay?
Very exciting.
Here we go. Right, we're going to do Group A in our beautiful little studio. So the Wheel of Fortune and the Wheel of Names is going to come up. So let's start with Group A, and let's do this. In Group A, the first person to be drawn to take on the number 1 spot is Cornel Erasmus. Well, Cornel, you're the first guy out. Second, Ruben Swart. Ruben, you're joining Cornel in Group A. Third player is Jacques Gravenstein. This looks like a competitive group as we speak as well. Who's going to be the 4th? Jan Venter, new player this season. And who else? Luki Janssen, last year's player of the season. And finally, in Group A, which has 6 players, is Sepp Robertson. So here we go. Let's recap Group A. In Group A, Cornel Erasmus, Ruben Swart, Jacques Renstein, Jan Venter, Luki Jansen, and Sepp Robertson. Well done, gents. You're the first out. You got 6, so there we go.
Right, that's Group A. Let's move on to Group B. Let's see who's it going to be. Let the wheel spin. First up in Group B is Leon Oosthuizen, our classic champ. And joining him in Group B is Alan Cook. And let's see who's going to be third. That is Hansi Hamman in Group B. And then we have Clint Broeders joining them in Group B. And Frikkie Steyn, another new guy to the Duckhook Tour. Karel van der Meulen joining them in Group B. And lastly, we have Mornay Kelly. Well done, guys. That's Group B. Let's just recap that for you. So in Group B, we have Leon Oosthuizen, Alan Cook, Hansi Hamman, Clint Broeders, Frikkie Steyn, Karel van der Meulen, and Mornay O'Kelly.
Right, on to Group C. Another 7 players going to be drawn. Let's do this. Who is going to be first in Group C? The wheel spins and lands on Dean Bester. Dean Bester is C1, who comes out second. Steve Saunders. Steve Saunders is in Group C. Joining them is Sadel Steyn. And then coming out fourth in Group C is Jason Ivans. Joining Jason Ivans in Group C is Billy Hall. Well done, Billy. Number 6 is Conrad Pretorius. And finally, who makes up Group C is Frikkie Barnard. A nice, good group of players. Recapping Group C: Dean, Steve, Sadel, Jason, Billy Hall, Conrad Pretorius, and Frikkie Barnard.
Right, that's Group C. Let's move on to Group D and see what the wheel brings to us. In Group D, we have Dani Geldenhuys. He was the runner-up in 2019. Joining him is Randall Chetty. Next up in Group C is Rudy Mattia, lefty. And then we have Paul Ricketts, also in Group D. Up next we have Sean Salmon, another low handicapper there. Joining them is Janku Dreyer, another newbie. And to complete Group D is Lyle Langley. Really strong group there of players. So let's just recap what happened in Group D. We have Dani Geldenhuys, Randall Chetty, Rudy Mattia, Paul Ricketts, Sean Salmon, Janku Dreyer, and Lyle Langley.
Okay, 4 groups to go. We're on to Group E. Let's see what Group E reveals. Spin that wheel. Okay, first up is Robert Michael. Nice, Robert. You're taking off Group E. Who else joins him? Ronnie Volherter. Nice, Ronnie. Third in Group E is going to be Chad Rose. This is turning out to be an interesting group already. Who's number 4? Hussein Ishmael. You joining the lads. Number 5 is going to be myself. I'm joining Group E. I'm looking forward to playing with you gentlemen. Kevin Ho. That's going to be interesting. And then finally we have Simon Mayer. Right, so at least we have a lefty in our group. Who will go out of this group? Let's recap. We've got Robert Michael, we've got Ronnie Volhert, we've got Chad Rose, Hussein Ishmael, myself, Maz, Kevin Ho, Simon Mayer. The top 4 go through to the round of 32.
Right, 3 groups to go. Let's see what happens in Group F. Spin that wheel. First up in Group F we have JP Atwood. Joining him is Trevor Miller, recent winner on the Duckhook Tour. And next up, Carl van der Linde, joining them in Group F. And we have Tim Garner. Up next, who's it going to be? Kero O'Connell, another new player to Duckhook. Oh, Ryan Jensen, another veteran there. And last in the group is Andre Kotze. Let's just recap Group F there for you. We have JP Atwood, Trevor Miller, Carl van der Linde, Tim Garner, Kero O'Connell, Ryan Jensen, and Andre Kotze.
2 groups to go. We're on to Group G. Who are the 7 players who are going to make Group G? There's only 14 left, so let's go. First of all, it's Jamie Sherry. Well done, Jamie, you're into Group G. Richard Stewart is a great match player, very consistent. Then we have you, Fats. You're in Group G. Welcome to Group G. Brian Owen, new player as well. Thank you for joining us for the singles. Who's up next? Another Duck, Ashley Herman, or Herman, I apologize. Ewald van Wyk, you're up at number 6. And who's going to be the last? The last is going to be Jaden Volmerans. Right, so that's Group G. Let's recap Group G. We have Jamie Sherry, Richard Stewart, Fats, there you are, Brian Owen, Ashley Herman, Ewald van Wyk, and Jaden Volmerans.
Right, and we're down to the last group, and as you can see, there's only 7 players left in the wheel, so you guys know you're in the same group. But let's just spin the wheel for fun to see the order we can put the names down. So it's Pieter Prinsloo, and we have Kobus Skuman, we have Jaco Jacobs. Joining them in Group H is Mark Borragero. Up next we have Graham de Villiers. Second last player, Neville Kurtz. And then that leaves us with Pranay. Right, just to recap Group H, we have Pieter Prinsloo, Kobus Skuman, Jaco Jacobs, Mark Borragero, Graham de Villiers, Neville Kurtz, and Pranay Pandey.
So there you go, it's a singles draw. Well done to everybody that entered. You now know your group, so how we'll work it is if you're playing in the same field, you will be paired up together virtually, and then at the end of it we'll whittle it down from the top 32 to the top 16, the quarterfinals, semifinals, and then we'll have a winner.
Of course. Just one thing I think we need to mention, if by chance the guys end up on the same points in the groups for like a 4th or a 5th place to go through to the round of 32, we just take your accumulated Stablefit points over the last 5 or 6 rounds in your group, and the guy with the most points will then go through to the next round.
That is very fair. Thank you and good luck. Well, there we go. What do we think? The groups are done, and as randomly as it possibly could be. Kobus, what do you think of your group?
Yeah, there's a few interesting groups. Looking at mine specifically, I haven't really played with Mark before. I lost against Graham in the last time I've played singles. So interesting group, Pranay there. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be tough. And let's just remind you very, very quickly, the group stages are virtual. So the amount of Stablefit points you earn in the same league game is what will determine who wins what. So don't worry too much about it. I'll sort it out from my end, and I'll already pair things up. Okay, right. So that's a singles draw. Thanks for the comments underneath. And at the end of the show, we'll move to the team draw. But for now, we have to capture what happened at Heron. Well, we had plenty rain leading up to it, so the course was a bit wet, but we're lucky that we actually probably went out to the Vaal because that was one of the only places that it wasn't raining on the Sunday. So we're once again very lucky with the Duckhook weather. I think we got about 2 holes where it really got wet, but thank goodness it cleared up. As it came in, gents, I don't know if you thought the same as me. I thought, whoa, this could stay the whole afternoon and this could be interesting. But luckily, it just did enough just to wet us, hey?
Yeah, no, like I said, there was a couple of holes that made things a bit interesting. So, but like I said, luckily one could have pulled through. And by the time that I think Kobus and them finished and we were on the 18th, it was baking again. So yeah.
Baking. Wayne, I quickly want to bring you in here, leading after Kilani, going into your second round. You would have thought it would be very important to post another good score, which you did, +1, nothing wrong with 35 points. How was your round quickly?
I actually played pretty decently. I'll be honest, the only thing that was tough for me was reading the greens. I don't know how the other guys found it, but I kept on having a whole lot of sideways putts. But yeah, it was just the greens. But otherwise, the rest of the game was pretty decent. Even in the rain and all that, I actually played pretty decent golf.
And yes, let's just reflect on the greens. I also struggled. I'm usually a pretty good putter, but man, did I struggle. I think 5 shots at least. That didn't help me. Okay, so let's go to the results. If you haven't seen the results, well, here they are. Kobus Skuman earning 1,000 credits, minus 743 points and 550 ranking points, and an automatic entry into the Masters. Tied for second, then we have Connor Cottam and Hansi Haman. Tied for fourth, Yuri Yerling and Randall Chetty. Randall made such a good run at the end. It really came down to what would happen on his final hole, which Kobus will go through. Then we got Pranay, another fantastic round. JP, another good round. Donnie Geldene is coming in there, shooting the low gross score of the day. Nice to see Leon van Aarde in the top 10 and Joey also in the top 10, accumulating 36 points. So congratulations to everybody who made this Paige, Quibus, time has come. Take us through your scorecard.
Yeah, we teed off quite early. We started at 9 o'clock, so obviously, it was very overcast and stuff like that. So I started very steady. I didn't really struggle to get and stay on the fairway, and then got those two pars, which was obviously my net ones, my net birdies, and then I got to the stroke one and just pushed the 3-wood into the trees and struggled to get out of that rough, which was really tough. And then obviously made a drop there. And I think where the difference started coming for my game specifically, Maz, is that I've got a 3-wood and a 5-wood in the bag now, which I've never had. So I can currently get closer to the long par 4 greens, which was never the case. You know, I would always struggle with a 2 or a 3 hybrid and still be 40, 50 yards short playing my third shot. So getting close to the green or just around the green already helped me quite a bit. And then I didn't really struggle with the greens. So, you know, I putted very well. I only had 31 putts. But getting to the 11th hole, it started raining very hard. And it was all wet, and I pushed my ball into the water, made a double drop there, and then I thought, okay, now it's going to happen. I'm going to be back to where it's normally, you know, I would have a good run and then suddenly have double with it. And then on the 12th, I pushed my approach shot into the water right next to the green. I had to drop. Obviously, then played my 4th shot, and the chip was just brilliant. I got it right next to the pin. I putted it in for the 5, so which gave me that 5 for 2. And I think that's just where I said to myself, you know, just keep it on the fairway. You don't go too aggressive. And I think that's just what helped me.
And then a 4-pointer, a 3-pointer. You made 3 4-pointers on the day, which is fantastic. Well done. I got a comment here. Yeah, go.
As I said, sorry, Maz, it's just that now I can get closer to the green, having the 3-wood and the 5-wood, which I never had. And that really has made a change in my golf specifically.
And I'm sure that your form is going to improve and improve. Jacques Gravenstein has a very good point here. I missed the top 10. Shot 77, 36 as well. Mr. Jacques, when I got the list back from our stats guy, Mr. Ryan Jensen, he said there's a couple of guys who did not submit scorecards. So you might want to get hold of him, otherwise this is going to fall away. Apologize profusely, and yeah, that is the case. There was, I think, about 10 guys or 12 guys. All right, moving on. Hansi, put it in your perspective. Now, you were chasing, you were a hole behind. You also had a fantastic round. Off a 16, let me just check, 9 pars and 1 birdie. Take us through it.
Yeah, man, like I said, the first 9 was really enjoyable. I missed a birdie putt on the short par 4 there on the 6th. And halfway I saw, okay, listen, if I remember correctly, I was leading, I was there and thereabouts. And like the chipping and everything, also short game worked very nice. I only had a total of 32 putts for the day. But yeah, like unfortunately, on the 13th and 14th, I messed up, and then on the 15th, I saw, okay, listen, Quibus was leading again by 2 or 3, so I knew, listen, I need to pull up my socks now. And like I said earlier, that was just a bridge just too far for me to get to that day. But it was very enjoyable. That's the first time that I've played, and I know, listen, the pressure is on me to perform. And like I said, unfortunately, I just left it a little bit too late to catch him there.
Well, I can tell you one thing, gentlemen. There's going to be some serious handicap snipping. That is for sure. There was quite a few guys who really shot low. I think in the end there was probably 5 guys under par, but the guys who were under par really did well. Okay, I'm going to run through the normal plenty graphics, but I got a couple of interesting things there for you. Firstly, I want to show you that at first for Duckhook, in history of Duckhook, we had 3 generations teeing it up at Heron Banks. We had you, Hansi, your son, and your father. That is pretty cool. How did they enjoy it?
Yeah, no, like I said, my son struggled a bit on the day. I don't know if the moment was too big for him or what, but my dad really enjoyed it. And I must say it was great fun playing with them.
And hopefully,
if all goes well, we can see them again there in the near future.
For sure. Now, Wayne, I was speaking to your father. He came to speak to me on the tee box, and he mentioned a very, very interesting stat. Do you want to know what this stat is? Because you won't believe it. Okay. 96 players Now, we've got to average it out because Heron Banks is quite a drive there and back. So say, for instance, if we average it out, it's about 220 kilometers, taking into account the guys are closer and they're taking into account the guys in Pretoria, give or take. And then I thought, let me Google and find out some interesting stats about what that distance is. When you times 96, even if you in a car together, 96 players went there, how far would that be? So this is what I came up with. The distance was 21,120 kilometers, right? So let's see. The Great Wall of China, if you take all the sections of the Great Wall of China, that's 21,196 kilometers. Mars's equator circumference is 21,296 kilometers. North Pole to the South Pole is 20,000 and a bit. Johannesburg to Iceland is 21,828. Joburg to Cape Town would have to be done 16.7 times. Gentlemen, that is the amount of kilometers we put on to go to Heron Banks. Can you believe it? That's some interesting stats. So thanks, Louis, for the info. That is what I wanted to say. Well done to everybody. Even with the rain around, everybody traveled there, everybody took part. So that's fantastic. Some interesting Duckhook facts.
And everybody arrived.
Yeah, everybody arrived. Right, let's go to the featured hole. The featured hole was the ninth. Everybody went through this par 5. No eagles. 2 birdies, 26 pars, bogeys 32, double bogeys 23, triple bogeys 12, others 1. Total shots, 596 shots on the par 5. I made the prediction that I'd be very, 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 very surprised if somebody got an eagle, and yes, nobody did. It is a tricky hole. If you don't get the drive off good, the second isn't great, but yes, so that is, enjoy that hole, and one day I will conquer it. Moving to the pins for the day. The pins for the day, I'm glad to announce that for the first time in 3 years, I feature on one of them. The par 3 10th, I stuck it just inside. I cannot remember, it was just the name before me, but like by 10 centimeters. So let's be moving backwards. The par 3 third was Louis Gerber, very, very close. Then myself, getting the EMS training vouchers. And then my playing partner, Karuna Kuni, also with his second on the 18th, put it within a meter. Great shot. Karuna had an interesting round. On the back nine, he went birdie, birdie, blowout, blowout, birdie. That's pretty good, eh? That's what I say. Right. If you wanted to know who the best 4 balls were on the day, well, are you in it? Are you in it? These are the best winning 4 ball. Jaco de Kock +3. Shark, well done. You're in there. Get the scorecards in, boys. Okay, Brits +4 and Johan Potgieter +4. On minus 19, 92 points. So that was the most consistent group of the lot. Well done to you guys. Yeah, bragging rights goes your ways. Then we have the group. The groups, there were 3 groups who came out on top and earns themselves a credit fine. Group A, we had Pranay Pandey on -3. Well done, Pranay. I hope that you keep up the good form and make a good run at the end of the season. Group B, we had Paul Ricketts. Well done, Paul. On +1. Very good run of golf. And that is still why you're a better handicap than me, sir. And then Group C, we had also +1, tied between Barry Fenter and Peter Prinsloo. These gentlemen, Mr. Sheriff Hansi, who's on the show with us, they get a credit fine. Please remember. Okay, I'll post all this afterwards. Then, where are we now? Gross. You want to know the gross? Usually the same faces, but there's some different this time. Gross, Darnie back in the 70s, under par, 1 under. Ryan, 71, with, if I'm not mistaken, 6 birdies and an eagle. And he shot 71, so somewhere there went missing. JP, another great round, 74, and Randall Chetty, 75. Now, imagine Randall Chetty didn't go missing on the 18th. Hey, Quibus.
Yeah. That one was interesting because I was standing the whole time and stressing about Randall coming up. So, you're checking the scorecard and then you can see them standing on the tee box. And then he hit it straight into the middle of the fairway and I thought, okay, that's it. He just needs to hit the green 2-putt and he's got it.
Yep.
And I don't know what Randall did, but he pulled it totally right left of the green. And then he proceeded to play a provisional, hit it onto the green. And I thought, but, if he's still making, anything can happen. He might box it. And I then walked to go look for his ball. So I walked straight to it, saw the ball and just said, Randall, here's your ball. Not funny, but good luck. I hope you can get close. And then, unfortunately, he got unstuck there.
Yeah. It's called scoreboard pressure, gentlemen. Scoreboard pressure. Just get it there. It really gets to quite a few people. I was speaking to Connor afterwards. Same thing. Watching the scoreboard and the nerves, knowing that you need to make the chip and then you don't make it because he also needed to make 3 points all the way in. Dorian wants to know, please keep the dog quiet. Who's the dog?
I don't have dogs, it's not me.
Yeah, okay, that leaves one of us because I don't have a dog
outside,
either. So the guy over there. Woof.
Hansi?
Okay, where are we now? Okay, I caught up with some of the lads afterwards and I wanted to know how their round was. And this is what they had to say. John, how did your round go today?
Well, it wasn't too bad. I could have done it a little bit better, I guess. I shot a +6 on 30 points, so the back nine was a bit of a water problem, but otherwise than that, perfect.
Ended on +1. Couldn't drive to save my life.
Do you feel close to winning something?
I've been striking the ball lekker. Working a lot on the driver, not that it showed today. But striking the ball lekker. But well done to Kobus, I think -7, PS5. Lower handicaps to shoot that, we have to shoot the lights out. But you never know, man. I'm just here to enjoy it. Glad to be back at Duckhook again.
Okay, well, halfway I was actually -4 and I finished +4, so not the best round, but I enjoyed it though. Met some great guys here, and yeah, we're gonna go actually to Michali's Park with them, and actually we're organising a tour already.
Fantastic.
I think on the stroke one I threw it away a little bit, making a triple bogey.
Okay.
Otherwise it went well. Didn't lose any balls today. Lots of water, grass is long, very wet, so proud of that.
Easy 4-iron off the tee the whole day. Obviously it was a new experience. I haven't played here before. Of course it was very wet. Yeah, I had a couple of monster 4-irons. But magically they just went to the hole. Had a couple of bad lips. Chipping was on par. Yeah, I'm happy with my score.
I battled to get off the first few holes for Duckhook. I always seem to start off badly, so I was +3 after 2, I brought it back to +1, back to +3, back to +1, eventually finished +5. But yeah, I had an enjoyable day. Very, very wet out there, but yeah, very, very good.
I unfortunately found myself third round with Duckhook this season, again outside of the top 30. Yeah, it was an enjoyable course, but a bit waterlogged, but a couple of good things, lots of bad things.
Where did you finish?
Tie 51.
Bring on the next few.
Exactly.
Enjoy the course?
Fantastic course. I think it will. I had first time I play and I think it was absolutely fantastic.
But very nice course. Like to come back again when it's dry and I can have dry lies, maybe a bit more.
Well, I last played about 2.5 years ago. They've done a hell of a lot here, so yeah, very, very decent at the moment.
Love the layout. I mean, it's a tale of two nines. You first go inland and then you around the water, so it's a lovely course.
You can hear the guys in the background as we were waiting for Kobus, because literally we were waiting for the second last 4-ball, and as they were coming in, the guys were shouting and shouting and shouting. Let's just clear something up here, Kobus. There's a lot of guys saying, pulled it right, left. What he means is right, he pulled it left. Like,
Yeah.
you know, he pulled it left. I'm sure. I'm right? Right.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Where are we now? Yes, funny things. What happens when the weather is so soaked after all the days? There's a lot of mud. So Heron Banks really did well to keep us out there. Let the carts go out. We apologize for breaking your fairways a bit, but that's gonna happen. And this is what happens when it's very, very wet.
Gaan vorentoe. Hier gaat hij. Vat hom nog terug, die incline is te hoog. Ja, jy het nog een keer wat jy kan gaan. Maar jy sal even grip kry in die gras, so jy kan nog agter toe gaan. Dis nie Audi daai nie. My maag het vanoggend so geklim. Ek wil nie eens help daar met daai ding en bietjie daar nie.
Well, at least, Jacques, you gave people things to laugh about. And thank you very much to Jacques for taking the video. I'm always looking for some funny content. Okay, where are we? Guys, send the bill to Jacques for that. That's just a mess. Okay, just checking. So there we go. The final thing that we're going to touch on regarding Heron's Banks, I don't seem to get that right. The leader, and I'm going to let you go through it, Wayne. This is the standings after 2 rounds. Take us away.
Yeah, that is actually something. After the first game in the year, you get the lead. Yeah, it's okay, it's cool, awesome. But then you tear up on the second game. Yeah, let me tell you, it messes around in your head a bit. So you've got to try and focus a bit. And yeah, it sits on the back of you. Now, you're looking at the first one, there was, if I'm not mistaken, was a 9-point or something lead like that. And now it's gone down to a 3-point lead. So if we have a look with Finay behind at 77, then we've got JP at 76, Randall 75. Quibus has moved up quite a bit. What did he say? I can't remember what he said earlier, but he moved up quite a bit. Now he's on 74 points. Yeah, that's actually an impressive move up there now. Well done, Quibus. And then Hansi also coming up there at 73. And then Graham, if I'm not mistaken, you're pretty steady. You're usually around here on 71 points. And then hello, Dani, also on 71 points. And we've got Connor and Ficky that is there as well.
Oh, awesome stuff. Let's see how it all unfolds. Remembering that 10 out of the 11 count. There's a comment here. I want to know who left the cart. Whose cart broke down? I think it was on the 12th hole somewhere, or 13th hole.
I think it was on 11, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah.
So who did that belong to? You let us know. Gerard Snyman says, I'm glad there were no videos of my 3 freshies. Yo. I came close. I topped the living hell out of one. But freshies is a different story. Well done, Gerard. At least you have your own record book going. Okay, so that is it for Heron's Bank. What comes up next? We got Modderfontein for the Thursday League coming up next Thursday. And straight away, a couple of rounds later, we are at Reimsig. And wow, let me tell you how quickly that field filled up. On Monday, there were 67 players. There were 27 spots available. When I checked that afternoon, there were 88 players. Whoosh. So you've got to get in. Get your bookings in, gentlemen. It's going to be an epic season if so many people keep signing up. Okay, Gideon says 12th hole was in the first 2 4 balls, but then Steve says, don't think it was Duckhook. Well, then that is what it is. Okay, time for the team draw. We have enough time to wrap it all up. Now, this is awesome and exciting because there is a lot of teams. Now, let me put this in perspective. We got 44 teams. That means there are 88 players. That's pretty much a full field. The teams are head-to-head from the beginning. So, also, what will happen is once this finishes, tomorrow I'll create WhatsApp groups for each team, send out the team graphic, and then between you, you'll decide where you're going to play each other. And then you let me know, and then I will schedule you accordingly, so that you gentlemen can work the admin out. Otherwise, it's just a bit much. Are we ready? Gentlemen, Wayne, are you ready? Quos, you ready? Hansi, what groups are you going to be in?
Well, come on, get it going.
Fats.
Come.
Let's do this. It's the second edition of the Team Champions League. What makes it so special is because we have a round robin stage and we've got teams into groups, and we're doing it the same this year. Last year was epic with Jason Ivans and Father Eddie Ivans taking the victory over the Mighty Ducks. Can the Mighty Ducks do better and take it one further? Or can Steady Eddie defend their title? They're both in the team draw. How is it going to work? Well, Vatsa will explain. Besides a round robin and then into the knockout, we are head-to-head the whole time.
Yeah, this is what makes this match play so interesting. It's match play from day one. So again, we have 8 groups. We have to divide the teams into just to make it easier for the next stages. Mm-hmm. So that's going to give us 5 groups of 5 and then 3 groups of 6 teams each. So each team will play all the other teams in their group, and 3 points for a win, 1 for a draw, and then 0 for a loss. But the interesting thing about the group stages is there's bonus points up for grabs. It's going to get down to points difference, same as last year where a couple of teams tied on points, but then came down to the points difference. So bonus points is winning by 6 or more, like 6 and 5, 7 and 5, 7 and 6 and higher, your team earns a bonus point, which makes a big difference at the end of the day.
We remember last year, a couple of groups that went through, the bonus points were very, very important. So if you can get a big victory, that already gives you an advantage. So let's get straight into the draw. We'll start with Group A and we'll go through the teams and we'll see how it all unfolds. We've got the wheel of the fortune, should we say. Let's roll the wheel and see who the first team that comes up and the first players. It's going to be Hook My Slice. New team Richard Stewart and Kira O'Connell. They teaming up this year to take on the team challenge. Next we have Rogue One teaming up again, Dana Perimal and Carl van Rensburg. Then the Joiners, 2 years ago, they were the champions, Randall Chetty and Brayton Nduweni. They take on, how do we say this one, Punamur, Ewald van Wyk and Henry Hall. And then fifth and last in Group A is Double JJs, which is Jan Venter and Jaco Jacobs. So, quick recap, we've got Hook Squad, Rogue One, Joiners, Punamur and Double J's.
Okay, that's Group A. Let's move on to the next group, Group B. Who's it going to be? Up first we have Concept Crushers, which is Simon Meyer and Leonard Nell. Who's going to join them in the group? Let's see. That is Swinger and Ringer, Ryan Estmond and Leon Oosthuizen. Not sure who's the ringer and who's the swinger there. Joining them is Bogey Bunch, Ronnie Volhooter and Trevor Miller. And the next team in Group B, we have Pitch Please, Steve Saunders and Jaden Volmerans. Great team name they've got. And the last team in Group B is Longshots, which is Nico Roots and Louis Gerber. Let's just recap the teams in Group B. It is Concept Crushers, Swinger and Ringer, Bogey Bunch, Pitch Please and Longshots.
On to Group C we go. Let's see who gets drawn out of Group C. Let's spin the wheel. Okay, the wheel comes out as spinning. It comes out as Simply Irresistible. Who's in Simply Irresistible? It's Robert Michael and Joey Dupree. That's going to be very interesting. Very high handicappers. Lots of shots to be given. Second is Ja Swar, Hansi Haman and Rudolf Broderick. Third into Group C, we have Shitshots. Who's Shitshots? Buddy Hall and Nikki Valenchut, if I remember correctly. And then fourth, we've got the Gamblers. This can only be Mark Borragero and Dylan De Beer. That will be an interesting pairing to see how that comes out. And then finally into Group C, we have Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, which is Jacques Ramsey and Francois Comfort. Right, let's just recap for Group C. Which are the teams? Simply Irresistible, Yaswa, Shitshots, the Gamblers, and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
Right, up next, Group D. Let's see what the wheel brings. Up first we have Slice and Dice. That is Chad Rose and Wayne Jensen. Really interesting pairing there. Joining them in Group D is S. Baldings. That is Lyle Langley and Adam Ford. Right, let's see who's next in Group D. That is Far From Par, which is Kobus Skuman and Peter Zaccario. And joining them in Group D is Aquelas, Sepp Robertson and Edwin Potgieter. And last team in Group D is Shake and Bake, which is Leon van Aarde and Dewald van Rensburg. Let's just recap Group D. It is Slice and Dice, S. Baldings, Far From Par, Aquelas and Shake and Bake.
We're on to Group E now. This is the last of the 5-team groups. Then we move on to 6 teams in a group. Okay, let's have a look who's first out. It's going to be Lucky Strike, which is Heinrich Boitness with a new playing partner in Boetha. Second in Group E is Hit and Run. Peter Prinsloo and Barry Fenter teaming up this year for the team match play. Who comes out third in Group E? It's going to be Sultan of Swing, which is the regular team of Luki Janssen and Karl van Meulen. Scales from the Vale, Matt Whittle and Russell Tanny take on the 4th position. 5th place in Group E, Couples Therapy, Connor Cotton and Joshua Taylor, who are new to our league, so good luck to them. Let's quickly recap Group E. Lucky Strike, Hit and Run, Sultan of Swing, Scale from the Vale, and Couple Therapy.
Right, and we move on to Group F, the first group with 6 teams in it. Let's spin the wheel and see what happens. First team in Group F is Dude, Where's My Pa? That is Ruben Swart and Basil Wright, another new pairing.
And my ex-partner.
Maz's ex-partner. Joining them is the Eagle Hunters, Sarel Stein and Cornel Erasmus. Up next we have Maz, are you going to pronounce that for us?
Yes, I'm going to try. Siampini Dragons. Siampini means champions in Gaelic. When they come up with the name.
Yeah, that is Maz and Paul. So up next, joining them is Crappy Fieldmores. Oh, we're in the same group. It's myself and Hanu Oosthuizen.
Didn't that happen before?
It has happened before. Up next we have MMWC, which is Ryan Jensen and Louis Jensen.
And we don't know what it means.
We'll find out. Joining them in the group is Prime Ministers Janko Dreyer and Charles Pretorius. So that makes up Group F. Let's just recap that quickly. It's Dude, Where's My Pa? The Eagle Hunters, Maz's team, Crappy Fieldmores, MMWC, and Prime Minister.
So that pretty much means we need to finish 1 and 2 to get out of the group. So good luck.
Good luck.
Good luck. Right, let's move to Group G. Who comes out first in Group G is Hook My Slice, Pranay Pandey and Annalise Sun. They back with a different name this time. What were they? Some Asian All-Stars last time. Nah, then Predators. Neville Kurz and Kevin Ho are joining up this year. Who's third? It's, how do we say? Cuervo boys. Cuervo boys. Sorry, Hilton
tequila.
Button and Rudy van der Vault. Next up is J-Dogs. That's Jason Dedekant and Jamie Sherry. Who is up next? Finally, the Mighty Ducks get picked out from the wheel. Donnie Gelderneys and Flicky Barnard hopefully knock bridesmaids again, and then finally into Group 6. Well, can you believe it? It's the finals in the same group, so they're going to be wanting to get through the group, and that should be interesting now, because that's a bit different. Let's just recap. Hook My Slice, Predators, Cuervo Boys, J-Dogs, the Mighty Ducks, and Steady Eddie.
That brings us down to the last 6 teams again, which is going to form Group H. So it is Die Boeties, Aldo and Andrich Fourie in Group H. Joining them in Group H is G-Force, which is Graham de Villiers and Gerard Snyman. They've been playing together for a while now. I think it's their third year as teammates. Die Koene, Koenraad Pretorius and Koen Pretorius. I think it is father and son, definitely.
Father and son.
Yes, another father and son.
And another father and son.
Another father and son is the Bienekes, Mark and Matt Bieneke. And then we have Wild Leprechauns, which is Rick Lowe and Johan Wessels. And last in the Group H is Pat Pat Bar, which is Mitchell de Asenso and Kyle Lawrence. Let's just recap Group H quickly again. Die Boeties, G-Force, Die Koene, the Bienekes, Wild Leprechauns and Pat Pat Bar.
So there we have it. Everybody's been drawn. It's nice with a random wheel because you could go anywhere. What are a few things that we need to tell you? Right, super subs are a very, very important part of the team match play. When do super subs matter? Well, in the group stages. If there are 3 players playing in an event and there's one missing, that guy will be super subbed from somebody else in the field because we got to keep going. There are plenty of matches to get to the final in November. What else?
Yeah, one thing I think we forgot to mention in the beginning is that the top 2 teams of each group will go through to the round of 16, same as we had last year.
Yep.
So yeah, something to play for. And just another interesting fact that the guy saw as well, the 2 finalists, the champions and the runners-up in the same group. So it'll be interesting to see if both of them can make it through to the round of 16 this year.
Right, there we go. Good luck. May the best team win. There you go. It's done. And straight away, after saying, I don't know what that means, Mr. Louis Jensen has said, MMWC main minus what counts. So thank you for updating us. And I see Frikkie says, yes. Aish? I don't know what Aish. Frikkie says, yes. final rematch. Can you believe it? Out of all the groups that the final of last year landed up in the same group. It will be interesting to see if you both come out and then somehow reach the final. Gents, you happy with your groups?
Yeah, I think so. My group's interesting. It's the slightly higher handicap group, so it's going to be interesting. Not too much given away, you know. So it might be me dropping to scratch. I don't know.
Yeah, I need to relook this to see if there's a team of death, because I'm pretty much thinking my group is the team of death-ish. Hansi, you're happy?
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. So, going to be a couple of interesting games.
Wayne, good luck with Chad as your partner, by the way. Don't know how that came about. You're going to have to remind him.
Listen, it's all part of the plan. Yeah, I don't know what you guys have got with Chad, but let me tell you, that Oak golf is coming up. All I can say to the guys in the group, you guys have to fight for the second spot because Chad and myself have got the first spot.
Correct. The top two go through. Gents, that's it for the show on this Wednesday evening. When are we back on air? Well, we're back on air next Wednesday to preview Modderfontein and Reimsig. Then there is a special show the following Monday. So put this in your diaries. What is the special show? Well, the shootout is coming up soon. We went out to South Africa today with the 4 captains to shoot some preview material to get the atmosphere going. So the following Monday, I think it's the 22nd, will be
22nd
shootout week. So we'll start with a shootout and do a special show for you. Okay, that's it, everybody. Thank you, Wayne, for joining us. Thank you, Kobus. Well done again on your victory. Hansi,
thanks, guys.
Well played.
Thanks, guys.
Good luck with your handicaps when we see you again. From me, everybody who commented,
Cheers,
have
guys.
a night.
All right. Cheers, guys.